What's up, Wastelanders? How's everybody doing today? I'm doing great, and I hope you are too. It's me, Kiki B. Welcome to a brand new episode of Kiki B Plays Fallout 76. We're going to be learning some electrical magic today that's going to make powering your camp a lot easier and a lot nicer looking. Just a quick thing before we get started, if you love what I do here and you would like to help support this growing channel, that would mean the absolute world to me. You can now do that over on Patreon for less than the cost of one fancy cup of coffee per month. Click on the link down below to find out more, and the first 20 new patrons will be given special Wasteland Legend status, which means that they'll forever be immortalized in the credits of all my videos. So if you want to get your name in the credits of my next video, check out that Patreon link today. And of course, join us over on Instagram if you want to, at KikiBPlays. We would love to see you there. Alright, so getting started, we're going to create a basic portable power box. And I've shown this in my merge tutorial video as well, but I'm just going to review it here really quickly. Place the conduit on top of the small generator, wire it to the generator, and then sink that conduit down in. Now you can also do this without the stash box if you actually prefer the look of just a generator, which you may, depending on the style of your build. We're going to sink that down into the stash box if you want. If not, skip that step, and then we can move it out to whatever area we need radiant power in. Now this is enough to power, I think, every prefab that's available, even the largest ones like the makeshift mega mansion. If you put this in a central enough location, it will power the entire prefab. So you'll be covered as far as lights, and you don't need to worry about wiring the thing up with conduits on the outside, which is a pain in the butt sometimes, and also kind of a waste of budget. Now, if you don't have that itty-bitty little prototype generator, but you would still like to hide a small generator in a random object somewhere in your camp, there are a few that you can hide the regular small generator in, including these hay bales, which are pretty easy. So you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to sink a conduit down into the top of the generator. Don't forget to wire it first. And then sink that generator down into the object that you're using. Here's another one you can do with the standard small generator. This one is going to require a rug as well, and it's a multi-step process, so I figured I would show it to you so that you know more specifically what needs to happen when. Alright, so after we've done the conduit trick, we're going to then place a small rug on top of it, and then we're going to use that to place the medium chained tire thing on top of the generator. Once you wiggle that around and you get it figured out and in the right spot, then you can go ahead and you're going to sink that partly down, about halfway down the generator, and then you're going to take that whole thing, generator, tire, all of it, and sink it down into the larger tire. Now this one was giving me some trouble, and it does this sometimes. I'm not sure if it's a glitch or if it's just specific objects that do this, but sometimes you will have to move your object from side to side to get it to place each time on the pressure plate to sink it. It can be a little annoying, it takes a little extra time, but if for whatever reason, when you're using the pressure plate, if your objects are not sinking, try doing that and see if it fixes the problem. Now again, this is another thing that you can just move anywhere in your camp. Yes, you do have smoke coming out of the tires, which is why I prefer the prototype generator, but this also, you know, it works just fine, and depending on the look that you're going for, you might want smoke coming out of your tires or hay bales. Here's another one real quick. I've noticed that the lion statue is pretty popular, especially in like newer players' camps. I get that, you know, when you're just starting out, you don't necessarily have a lot of decor objects and stuff, and the plans for these statues are pretty common. So then you can take this and you can just sink that generator right down into the lion's butt. And you're not even going to see it, and because the lion statue is so large and you sunk the generator into sort of the back of it, you're not even most of the time going to notice the smoke coming out of it, because the smoke effect kind of ends right around where the lion's mane is. You'll notice it a little bit depending on the distance that you are from the statue, but most of the time you're not really going to see it very much. So that's a cool way to power your camp. If you're a newer player, you don't have necessarily all of the stuff. Alright, now here's another one. This stupid popcorn machine irritates me. It really irritates me that it has to be wired to power it. And especially if you want to have it inside your camp somewhere, sometimes it can be really annoying just trying to run a wire into it and having to do a lot of dumb tricks to do that. So in this case, you can make your same little portable power generator thing, and you can sink it right down into the popcorn machine. And this is another one where it stopped sinking properly partway down, so I had to do the moving it back and forth method for the last 2/3 or so. Not sure why. Again, if anybody knows why, what this glitch is, or if it's just I don't know, an object specific thing or whatever, let me know in the comments. So there you go. After you're done with that, you're going to have a popcorn machine that will radiate power in your structure and that will be powered itself. The only thing that you will have is, because the popcorn machine itself is wired, it will do this thing where it drags the wire along and thinks that the wire is stuck in whatever the last place was that you put it. So you'll just have to move it slightly differently, but you can still move it. Here's another one that you may not have thought of before, and that is beds. You can do this with a lot of different beds. This one personally is one of my favorites, and again, it's doing the stupid thing that I have to move back and forth. But when you sink this one down in, especially because of the blanket that sort of drops to the floor on both sides, you really can't see it. So it's pretty well hidden in there. Okay, and here's just kind of a rundown of some of the objects that you can use to sink generators into and to create portable power. These are some of the appliances that you can use, and this is by no means a complete list, but it's just meant to give you kind of an idea. Here's some interesting furniture that you can use, including the 2 large beds. You can also use the other Vault-Tec bed, the one that was a scoreboard reward. Here we just have a collection of some of the various stash boxes that you can sink a generator into and have it be hidden. Obviously, some of the larger ones you'll be able to use the standard small generator and not just the prototype generator in. However, if you don't have the prototype generator, I would highly recommend getting it in the Atomic Shop if you're able. It's really well worth it, in my opinion. So here's some floor decor objects that you can use. Pretty self-explanatory, and again, some of the larger ones, particularly the wavy Willards boulders here, you can definitely use to sink the standard small generator into. And some random miscellaneous stuff that you might not have thought of, including the porta potty, which you can sink it down below the toilet so that you don't have to see it at all. Any of the trailer type objects you can fit a generator into. Most of them you can also fit the standard small generator into. Alright, now here's one. Let's say you've got an object inside of a structure and you need to run a wire into it. It's actually really, really easy to do. What you're going to do is you're going to take, you can use really any wall decor object, but I like to just use a small sign. And then you're going to put a wall-mounted conduit on it, right onto the sign. Wire that to your generator or other conduits, whatever wires it up to your power. Then you're just going to pick up the sign and place it once in the same spot. And that sort of sets the thing. And now you can pick it up and you can move this sign with the wired conduit on it anywhere you want to, any distance, through walls, through anything, whatever you like, and then you can just set it in there and wire it to your object. Now, this looks particularly stupid because the backwoods bungalow does weird things with the walls, so it's actually putting the sign on the outside of the wall. But whatever, you get the idea. Now, if you don't want to put something on your wall for whatever reason, or you just need something that's specifically on the floor, you can do the same thing with one of these conduits and a small rug. And again, be sure after you have put the conduit on the rug and wired it to your power, just pick it up and place it once in that spot before you move it. Now, let's say for whatever reason you don't want to do either of those things, but you still want to power this thing inside your bungalow or whatever structure you've got. You can literally do the exact same thing, just with a conduit on the object that you need to power. And over here it's doing the usual thing with giving me trouble about the wire that's connected to the popcorn machine. So you can just disconnect that. In the meantime, again, pick it up, set it, and then you can move it anywhere you need. Now, unfortunately, because I used the Nuka-Cola conduits, those are a little hard to wire to, which is kind of stupid. I like them because they're flat. They've got a really low profile, they don't have a light on them, and they're cute. But they are hard to wire to, so I had to move the popcorn machine around to wire it to the conduit in the end. But as you can see, it works just fine. That's it for me today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. If you're interested in supporting the channel over on Patreon, it would mean the absolute world to me. Don't forget to make sure you're subscribed and that you've turned on notifications so that you don't miss out on the next absolutely amazing video. And as always, take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and I will see you in the next video.